Gaming and BS episode 293 coming to you Monday, May 11th, 2020. Welcome to Gaming and BS, a tabletop RPG podcast. I'm Sean.
And I'm Brett. Welcome to the show. Welcome back, folks. Glad y'all here.
Welcome to the show, Brett.
Hey, man. How the hell you been?
I cannot complain.
You like that background?
Now I see the background. That is old school.
Mm-hmm. White. Plume.
Oh, White Plume Mountain.
There you go.
Yeah. I am not very good at some of the old module covers.
There's only certain ones that I go, oh, yes, that one. And mostly those are, of course, the ones I've read or read repeatedly or run at some point in the past.
There's some that I get like that, Keep on the Borderlands, Isle of Dread, all the kind of standard ones all the time.
Yeah. Sojacanth, Jusathaganth, whatever it's called.
Well, I think it depends on which cover.
Yeah, some modules have different covers and so on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No.
Let's see here. You game it all this last weekend? Getting cool in? Between when we talked last and now?
I played on Thursday, Mothership.
How'd that go?
Session Dos.
The first was Session 0.
Correct.
So this was like characters, action, go.
Shit is hitting the fan for them.
Are they like going, fucking run around? What's going on?
That's how it left off.
So
they weren't
awesome.
they weren't running they weren't running around, but put it this way, they looked in on a monitor, kind of a surveillance camera of a ship, and there was this oogly boogly creature looking at the camera, hissing at them. And then I stopped the session.
Like, that'll be fine. I can have it.
And they're like,
the fuck?
So they're on the bridge of a ship. Oh, and the ship that they came from, the Profit Margin, docked with this ship, but for some reason it got ripped off. So they don't have their mothership. They don't have the Profit Margin docked to the Alexis, which
anymore.
Is what they are on. Yeah, so they are basically
on a Hulk
on the Alexis with something stirring, and they've gone through most of the Alexis, not all of it, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, they are. I know the secret now. I know what the secret is, Brett. The secret is just to keep throwing shit at them until there's just not enough shit to throw at them.
When they're like, I can't keep juggling. Yes.
Yeah, they're like,
how about one more? And this one's a chainsaw and it's on fire.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's that, and then this Saturday I run Tomb of Annihilation online with Jeff and the gang. Nice.
Yeah. I did, let's see, last Tuesday I ran my Streets of Avalon game for my home crew. That's fun. I have been using a nasty old school monster I've never used that I recalled from the Fiend Folio, which I've never used before. I'm not going to say it here on some strange chance that one of them might listen to it. But they're not guessing it at all. I've been like, clue bomb. Oh, that sure is weird. No idea. Nothing happening. I have one player who I think might go, oh yeah, I knew that. And I'm going to call bullshit as soon as they do that, if they do that, because there's no fucking way. Then I ran Trail of Cthulhu for AJ and Lana. They both wanted to play something totally different.
That's right.
And I put this out on my Twitter, and it was fun. They had a lot of fun. Took like tons of copious notes, figuring stuff out. They come from different cities. They're in Arkham because they've inherited the house from this old man. It was the grandfather of one of the characters and a dear family friend of the other. And if they stay there for a year and the day, they get to own the house and all the money and blah, blah, blah. But they have to keep his huge occult library intact. He wants that thing protected and so on. They do some digging and searching once they get there, weird things, and find out that he may have obtained some of those books through nefarious means. Maybe he should have some of those books. And then this guy, Wilbur Wheatley, shows up. If you know the Dunwich Horror, he's straight out of there. But my kids have never read Lovecraft. Ever. They know about it. So I'm like, oh, I would be called a hack if I did this to anybody who knew the mythos. However, I'm going to take a page out of my Stealing Cthulhu book and the shit Sean and I have talked about a billion times. I'm going to steal crap, names and ideas and so forth, and use it. And the kids love it. They think it's awesome. This crazy, super tall, angular guy who doesn't quite seem to fit his clothes, named Wilbur, shows up and, "Ye'd best be giving me the book ye father stole from me." And they're like, what? What do you mean? It's not my dad. I don't understand. It's my grandfather. I don't care. It's that whole bit. So it's going to be fun. And then it was Undermountain on Thursday that Alpha was running. I think I and one other person have avoided being cursed or nearly deaded. Everybody else is doing stupid ass shit.
What are you playing in Undermountain?
What am I playing?
Yeah.
I am a half elf arcane trickster rogue.
I would not. Well, half elf. Okay.
I built this because when he told us we're going to go into Undermountain, it's a crawl. I built for 5e, to the best of my ability, the consummate underground scout.
Oh, like a
10-foot pole, the
tunnel
whole bit.
rat.
Yeah, I built a 10-foot pole, the whole bit. I swabbed the dungeons. I look for this, I look for that. And I ignore crap too, which I know drives a couple of the other guys in the group nuts. We going along, like, well, we should investigate that. Nah, it looks dangerous. Yeah, but I said, yeah, looks dangerous. Fuck that. And I leave. They're like, yeah, but this weird liquid on the sky trap. What is this thing? I'm not fucking with it. Well, maybe the key. I'm not giving you my key. Well, what if it works? What if it doesn't? No, I'm not giving you the thing I found. Half the group is with Brett. They go, yeah, that looks stupid. Don't touch that. The other group's like, yeah, but I want to touch it. I'm like, oh, go ahead and touch it. I'm going to wait in the hallway. When you're done screaming, I'll come and tell you what you did wrong. So it's fun. I actually am having a really good time with it because I like dungeon crawls. It's been a long time since I've done one.
Yeah?
Yeah, so it kind of makes me want to run a dungeon crawl for our patrons next. Just as something that I haven't done in a long time.
I think you gotta be in you gotta be in that mindset for dungeon crawls. I do anyways. Like, it's just, okay. So I think when you create and you're going to go on an adventure and Brett goes, okay, we're going to run D&D 5e or whatever, right? Insert system. And you're like, okay, great. I'm going to make this kind of character. And then you go, and it's going to be a huge dungeon crawl. You're like, okay, I'm going to switch my character.
I'm going to make this other kind of character.
Yeah.
I think that is one of those pieces from a D&D trope perspective. We talked about bait and switch many times over the past 6 years. That can be because some people don't care. I mean, you've got every gambit. Some people are like, oh, adjust dungeon crawl. Oh, having fun. Right. Other people fucking hate them.
Yes.
And if you don't tell the people in the group, hey, I've got a big idea, and in the middle of this is a great big dungeon crawl. Having bits of dungeon, which I did in my Outlands of Avalon game with my home group not that long ago. They had to travel places, find things out outside, politics, go into this dungeon. They were all short crawls. In, out the mines, figure this, figure that, lots of cave-ins and helping them get to where they need to go without it being this expansive thing. So that was fine. Get in, get out, find clue, march on to the next thing. But generally speaking, if I have learned over the years, don't surprise a group with, hey, guess what? I turned the politics of the Forgotten Realms adventure we were doing, and now you're going to go into Undermountain. And it's like, I'm not doing that. Why am I doing this? It can be very divisive.
Yeah, nothing like creating a social bard and you're stuck in a dungeon for 10 sessions.
Well, it's like, we're going to be, if you tell everybody, hey, make your character, that's great. And then, all right, in the deserts outside of, in the realm of Greyhawk, and it was the deserts of Flann or whatever that are beyond the mountains, the Crystal Mist Mountains, when you way the fuck in the middle of nowhere, where the rain of colorless fire landed. You're like, so it's a desert game. Yeah. Well, I'd have maybe made someone who was kind of like a Bedouin or somebody who knew what the fuck they were doing instead of my dwarf who craves to fit, interesting. And sometimes maybe it's go off tangent a little bit here, but I think because of the way we tend to, when we as the larger gamer, we talk about our games and stuff. I have a pitch for the adventure or the campaign. I pitch the campaign, and you make a character to fit that campaign. Now, folks like some of our buddies, Kojo and other folks would say, well, Brett, actually, I wouldn't do that. I would sit down and make characters, and then you would have the adventure, old schooly style, right? Which is equally fun, but you have to come with that mindset. Say, hey, look, I sat down, I rolled up my BX character, and it turns out we're in a desert. Oh, cool. Can my guy be from this desert clan? Can my guy have this knowledge? Yes. But some people don't like that very much. So anyway, like I said, there's so many different ways to play a fantasy game. And if you spring the dungeon crawl trope on people and they are not ready for dungeon crawl trope, not so good. So anyway, Alpha did a good job, told us flat out, y'all going to be in Undermountain. One player said, what's that? I said, it's a huge ass dungeon crawl. I don't think we'll ever get to the end of it. Oh, all right, I'll try that.
So I have a question for you. So
Sure.
when you guys said, so the DM's like, hey, you're going to Undermountain. When in character, in play, was it known? Like, did he make that known up front, or was
Yes.
it? Okay. Because in that case, you could easily say, like, we have a group that's been hired or to venture, and they are geared towards actually going into Undermountain because they're already aware of it. It's kind of like hiring a group of heist people, right, to go and rob a Vegas casino, Ocean's 11 style.
Yeah, and then accidentally showing up with a barbarian and, something else. Like, why is the Navy guy here? Why is the pirate here? Why do I have a Somali pirate for my ice game? Yeah, he told us, up front. And first session, we started in the Yawning Portal, which is the big popular entrance. And we all had reasons. We did some digging ahead of time, what we might want to also find out, so on. We had good reason to be down there. And now we're down there. A couple of the players, I don't think were as smart in how they made the characters. And they're finding that out now. But the rest of us all went, this is the shtick, huh? Let me just take a big bite onto that sucker and ride this thing,
Yeah.
Anyway.
So did he have you? Did he have you guys? Somebody was asking if you had any interaction with Waterdeep, or was it just the Yawning Portal and then off to Undermountain?
We did not role play a whole lot the first night. It was kind of like, let's just get rolling.
Yeah.
And it was a classic, in my opinion, kind of a classic. You're at the gate of the dungeon. What do? You're at the Yawning Portal. Why are you here? We talked about it. We BS'd around a little bit. And we're like, okay, let's go. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
We're here to do the thing, and we all have a good reason to do it. Asked our questions, poked around. We could spend an entire, the rest of our lives exploring Waterdeep. Why don't we do what we came to game here? Let's do the adventure.
I gotcha. Mr. Weeb was wondering.
Yeah, it was fun though.
Yeah.
I know enough about Waterdeep and its environs and the Forgotten Realms, and so does Nick. So between the three of us, between Alpha, Nick, and I, we explained everything to everybody else what things are. Oh, this clan, this group. Someone mentioned something about Xanathar from an NPC perspective. What's that? Look, we're start off at 5th level, so I explained, hey, this is Xanathar, so on and so forth. My character's a thief. I would understand this, and we shared a lot of knowledge that way. And even when we uncover things in Undermountain that are very realm specific, I built my character to help me to stop metagame cheating, which is a problem I've talked about before. I was a sage background in 5e, so I'm proficient in Arcana, and because I'm an arcane trickster, I have plenty of magic ability. So what I do is Alpha will describe a thing about, can I roll an Arcana check to let me guess? Yes, Brett, go ahead, clack. Is it a yellow musk creeper? Yeah, yay, I thought it was. But that way I'm not being a complete douche. And if I fail my roll, which I have, he goes, yeah, you're just not sure. I'm like, yeah, man, it could be, or it could be, or it could be, or it could be. I just can't tell by these tracks or whatever the case is. So that stops me from using the mechanic, a kind of a self-inflicted mechanic to keep me more honest, because I know who I am and how I game. So there would be. Are you playing in anything?
I'm not playing in anything, although I may. So there's rumor that I may be in a one shot with Mr. Salzweedle running Mothership.
Oh,
Yeah. So I got into contact with him, and he's going to probably run a one shot for that. I'd say, yeah, absolutely. And then I may play in Hobbs's low fantasy gaming RPG game that he offered up on the last episode to any BSers. We have about 3 that are interested, and I put it out to patrons as of this recording. So I would imagine it'll be full of 5 people, and I don't know when that's gonna. It's all gonna be dependent upon when it happens. Actually, like I can't play 4 or 5 games in 1 week, so.
God, I really want to, but I have a lawn that needs mowing and stuff that needs doing. Yeah.
Right.
And fuck, I have a day job too. God, why do I have a day job? Why can't I? Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, let's see here. Let's get into announcements real quick. Apart from the stuff we've been gaming with, there's Gamehole Con. Their event registration is up there. We got to talk about what we want to run for Gamehole Con.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about kind of like gaming and BS eventy thing. Does that make sense? Does it not? So on and so forth. But anyway, that's live. Gamehole Con, of course, is November 5 through 8, 2020. GameholeCon.com. Check it out. Con of Champions, May 23rd to 25th. That's coming up real quick. I believe event registration is still open. All proceeds go to help keep tabletop events live. Talked about that a few times. That's enough of that. Are we ready? Random encounter?
Let's get into a random encounter. Random encounter, a segment of the show where we field emails, voicemails, comments from social media, and our forums.
You start.
I will start, Brett. Brett defers.
I defer.
All right, first one, Eric Avia writes in about weapon damage. What's up, BSers? As the old saw goes, longtime listener, first-time caller. Well, thank you, Eric.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah, one of our patrons. I was listening to the weapon damage episode the other day, and you said... The other day? Anyways... And you said something that really struck a chord with me. Many players in modern period RPGs, Top Secret, Twilight 2000, etc., want to get really, really crunchy about calibers, weapon types, rate of fire, and so forth.
I've seen it.
Yeah. So I've been a DEA firearms and tactics instructor for 11 years now.
I think Eric trumps any skill or knowledge I have in this arena. So I am all ears, sir.
Think he can outshoot you, Brett?
Yeah, probably. Standing offhand with his non-dominant hand, with his dominant eye closed. Yeah, probably.
Think he could disassemble a pistol?
Probably faster than I can, yeah. That's like when I go shooting with my buddy Nick, ex-Army. He's combat vet, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
Like, hey, Nick, well, look at this. Bang. That's pretty good. Pow. Fuck you, Nick. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm not warmed up yet. Sorry. Yeah, I used to show off. Anyway, carry on.
So he's been a DEA firearms and tactics instructor for 11 years now, full-time shooting instructor for 5 of those years. I was also an Army Airborne Infantry officer for several years, and I've got combat deployments to Afghanistan. Thank you for your service.
Amen. Yes, very cool.
This is not to boast, but to establish my frame of reference. I've been shooting at a very high level and teaching others to shoot for a very long time and not always at paper targets. The summation of my experience is that, within certain logical boundaries, quote, the bow and arrow matter a lot less than the Indian.
I've heard that before. A buddy of mine's father was a Army, he taught sharpshooting type of thing. It's just ages back when I was a kid. That's just what I recall. And Mr. Owens said a very similar thing to me one day when I was complaining. It's not the arrows, boy. Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. The fact is, most guns are more accurate right out of the box than the goon behind them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll agree with that.
Sure.
Absolutely.
I've been told that this rifle or that pistol, quote, will hold 2 MOA accuracy at 500 yards, end quote. Great, but irrelevant, because the human using that gun is almost certainly not capable of that same accuracy. The difference between one firearm in a particular class and another has generally more to do with...
Missed an entire sentence.
Did I really? Oh,
It's
shit.
like giving... This is a good sentence. I don't want you to miss
Sure
it.
as hell did. Great, but irrelevant because the human using that gun is almost certainly not capable of that same accuracy. It's like giving a teenager a Ferrari. They cannot drive that car to its maximum potential.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between one firearm in a particular class and another has generally more to do with user preference and training than the machinery of production. A great gun won't help a poorly trained shooter.
Amen to that.
Yeah, no kidding. Yep, I know that. Word up. I've been berated, lectured, and harangued. Harangued, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By shooting experts with their assessments of comparative ballistic stopping power, this propellant combined with this bullet, you know what? It's most likely intellectual masturbation, entertaining, but ultimately pointless and something to hide from your mom.
I love it. Oh my God. My hunting buddies, I say the same thing. Carry on. Keep going. This is awesome.
I refer to that as wankery.
Wankery. Yes, this is definitely wankery.
Wankery. All right. So those who treat ballistics as paramount are often unfamiliar with the practical realities of tactics. Guys who get into gunfights for a living are not buying their own ammo and hand-loading cartridges. They use what they are issued and make it work. Issues of stopping power and long-range ballistic performance are far less important than shooter training. Because the vast majority of small arms engagements take place at less than 200 meters. This is true even in the desert. Wearing glasses, I have better than 20/20 vision, and at 300 meters, I could barely see a man unless he's wearing a red shirt and doing jumping jacks.
Fair.
Most night vision goggles and IR aiming lasers won't allow you to distinguish a target even half that distance away, and aiming lasers have a bore offsight that limits their effectiveness at longer distances. Yeah.
I had this discussion with my buddy Nick. We were talking about sighting and so forth, and he said, yeah. So have you ever shot with night vision? I said, no. He goes, let me tell you what a pain in the ass this is and why. We went over this Dude, 2 days ago we talked about this.
You wear night vision and you go to take a shit in night vision. It's like weird. It's just off. Like it's your perception's off.
Your perspective is gone.
Yeah. I think that the original version of Twilight 2000 got it just about right. They divided small arms into broad classes: pistol, submachine gun, assault rifle, light machine gun, etc. Between two guns of the same class, there's functionally very little difference. In terms of getting the hits, the skill and training of the shooter matter far more than the gun they are using. In terms of damage, where you get hit matters more than what you're hit with. Getting shot with a .357 Magnum versus a .22 bullet, of course there's a difference, but between a .357 and a .45, the difference isn't so much that I'd waste time adjudicating it. In game terms, you got hit with the small caliber pistol or large caliber pistol. Leave it at that. So in game terms, if a player insists he is using a Remington R10 or an HK53, then I am fine with it. Whatever blows your hair back, troop. But as GM, I'm calling it a plain old battle rifle, and it will function and perform in game terms just like an FAL, or an SKS or whatever. By the way, your friend with the comment about clearing a structure with a sniper rifle was spot on. If a guy in my unit had ever gone to do that, I'd smack him a good one and tell him to climb a roof and pull Overwatch. Sorry this went on so long, but it's a matter I'm kind of passionate about, much to the dismay of my wife. Cheers, Eric. P.S. Many firearms instructors subscribe to a school of thought called the equipment sufficiency paradigm. Once a piece of gear is acceptable to the level of skill of the shooter, additional bells and whistles would be better invested in practice. For example, if you've got $1,000, spend $500 on a scope, $5 on training ammo. A guy who does that
$500 on scope, $500 on training. You said $5.
$500 on scope, $500 on training ammo. A guy who does that will do far better and last longer than a guy who buys a $1,000 scope but no training ammo. On the other hand, spending $100 on a scope and $900 on training ammo is just wasting $100 on a piece of crappy gear. Yeah. Hey, Eric, I think you're wrong.
Pow! What's that? Oh, there's Sean.
Eric doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm just kidding.
The reason I'm giggling through this and I'm like giddy here is whenever I listen to a professional talk about something like, oh, I thought this. Oh, this is a belief I've held. And this is somebody who really knows what they're talking about. I'm like, oh my God, I feel vindicated that I thought this thing. My friends and I, my hunting friends, my gun nut buddies, my friends, we chat about firearms and whatever. This is the type of position I've held, but I don't have this level of experience or training or expertise to back it up. It just seemed to make more sense. And it is interesting how people want to get. So take all that cool stuff that Eric gave us there and shared. So thank you very much, Eric. A lot of good data. And then applying it to things like swords and so on. Yes, getting hit with a two-handed sword hurts like a motherfucker. Getting hit with a two-handed axe probably hurts like an equal motherfucker. It maybe leaves a different style wound, but it still fucking hurts, right? And there, especially when it comes to firearms and so forth, classes of small caliber, large caliber, battle rifle, big gun, small gun. Examples of each can be fun, as we talked about before, because if you have that, then people can get noodly by naming stuff. Oh, it's an SKS. Oh, I always wanted one of those. Yeah. What does it do? Oh, it's like a large rifle. Oh, that makes sense. You can just write large rifle. No one would give a shit. But you get to write SKS on your sheet, and that's really neat for you. And that's cool.
And that's fine.
It's totally fine. But it is funny when you will have people have arguments at the game table. If you haven't already, I'm surprised, probably will. That there's no way a dagger would. You couldn't possibly with a falchion. There's an axe wouldn't do that. A 22 can't kill anybody. A 38 special isn't as powerful as ad nauseum. It just goes on and on. So I like Eric's. I like the cut of his jib. I like that approach.
I'm glad we did a topic just for him to write in.
As am I. That's fucking awesome.
That's what we do. We're like 290 episodes trying to find out exactly what topic will provoke somebody to write in.
I need a professional who knows something about this. Let's see if we can get them talking. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Eric.
All right, after that, going back to episode 284, Innovation, Noble Mutant commented in our forums, a quick thought after listening to episode 284. All the suggestions cater to players and GMs without physical challenges. What about the deaf, blind, etc. type of participants? I recently purchased a Braille dice set. You'd be astonished at the size of a Braille game book. Audio, video, and technology requirements may actually set up walls to more and easier playing. Still, an important and interesting episode. And holy shit, we did not talk about that really.
No, we didn't.
Innovations. We may have hinted at it around. I'd have to go back and listen to the episode. We sure as hell didn't address it. And I think that's valid. Because while we're talking about innovations and stuff, man, there are people who want to play that are hearing impaired. I have friends of mine that have hearing aids that I've been gaming at tables with them at conventions, and somebody across the table is whispering and they can't hear. Just the fact that you need to do different things for different people.
That's a blind spot.
It's
a blind. And I don't mean that to be pun intended, but literally a blind spot that most people have. Like we are not experienced with that. So therefore we don't think of that.
It's not the same, but a similar thing that my group does. So we have two gentlemen who are disabled. Both have really bad knees or hips. One guy, we're trying to convince him finally get his damn hip replaced because I think he needs it done. That's what his doctor's telling him. And we got other people. So because of that, when we pick the location that we're going to play, we make sure that there's easy access to it. If there's a set of stairs going down the Alpha's basement, it's easy to go down, easy to come up, handrails in place, the whole bit. Because we have two gents who game with us who've got some physical problems. It's not a wheelchair. It's not blind, right? It's not deaf. But I think we will find that we actually do a fair amount of things, even for my gamer buddies who are hard of hearing. We will do things to help facilitate those folks. Wouldn't it be nice in more extreme cases where you're legally blind, deaf, or any other format, any other challenge like that, that there was a really cool tool out there, a great innovation to help get that person so that they could participate even more so. That would be really cool. Because I think we naturally, when we're gaming with people we love and we really like and want to hang out with, we do a lot to help each other out. But man, it would be really cool if we had some kick-ass gaming tools.
Well, man, just, I don't know. How about a convention that has an interpreter on hand?
Oh, like for sign language.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, geez. that could be cool. Pricey probably, but man, would that be worth it? God, that'd be slick.
Yeah. I mean, there's folks I've seen doing role-playing games on Twitch where they'll have closed caption while they're running, which is something we could do. I mean, that's something surely I could implement. But it's mostly hit, but there are times when it can get a little, I mean, the language interpreting or the translation
can be off. Yeah, no, I get it.
Can be off, but
it's still, I think Noble Mutant has a good point here. It is interesting when we talk about things that would make our gaming experience, interesting or fun or more interesting than it already is, because it's freaking awesome. Gaming is awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously. But man, that would be a great place to be able to spend some time and development money. So thank you. Very good point. And I'm glad you called that out.
Yeah.
Over to you, sir.
Bruce Cunnington from the UK also comments on the same forum topic and episode. This is a really interesting subject about the innovation in gaming. Now, I'm not a developer of any kind and have only a layman's understanding of most of this tech, but I could see all kinds of challenges and only a relatively small audience for a new online publishing format for RPGs. I'd love to see it happen, though. Let's just imagine you can get that perfect solution together that allows publishers to combine text, images, video, hyperlinks, maps, layered maps compatible with a wide range of virtual tabletop systems, tokens for the same, sound effects, and music. How would you market it? Do you keep it for your own RPG product, assuming you're a publisher? That would be narrow-minded and likely to lead to a more fragmented marketplace. Would you license it to other publishers for a fee? Maybe, but bear in mind that many RPG publishers are tiny do-it-yourself operators. Would you make it freely available in the hopes of this becoming the new format and effectively replacing PDF or other books? Awesome. But then you have to swallow a pretty hefty development cost.
Yeah.
It's a great idea, but I suspect the cost of developing the perfect solution may mean we're stuck with PDFs for a while yet. Incidentally, Purple Sorcerer's DCC, or Dungeon Crawl Classic modules, are really great in PDF. Most come with an appendix that contains fluff intended for printing, paper minis, maps, often with and without battle grids and handouts, but it's also relatively easy to grab images and use them to make tokens and maps for online play. Bruce.
That's good stuff, Bruce. And I think you're right. It's interesting because we will often, when Sean and I talk about it, it's very easy to, and we said this, at least we tried to, it's easy to say, it's a wish list. Like, what would I like to see? And yeah, I mean, I could, if I were Wizards of the Coast and I had this budget to make this incredibly, everything that Bruce just lined out, it does all of this. I'm not going to give that to Paizo. I'm not going to give that away, right? Or would you? Or should you?
D&D Beyond, man.
But I'm just saying, business decisions versus what's good for the hobby, and good Lord, there's decisions and discussions. That's a mini whiskey discussion right there. I think could be pretty intense, but good points. Very good points.
D&D Beyond is actually a bad example. I should stipulate like Lone Wolf software.
Yeah.
Right, they're doing multiple system stuff, but
they still out there?
They are.
I haven't looked at their stuff in forever.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So thanks everybody for writing in and commenting. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Gracias, muchos. Let's get into the main topic, Brett.
Yeah, let's move on.
Main topic. All right, Brett.
So I got this idea because this has been happening to me for a while. It's been creeping back in. And I had to have this discussion with my kids in the last time we played D&D together. And then I pointed them to the skill dogpiling video by Matt Colville. And I'm like, hey, he talks about bits and pieces of this, but not the same way we do. So I wanted to come back at it. And this is basically retrying the piling on the skill checks. I do that too. I search for secret doors. You don't find anything. Oh, I'll try. Well, I have that skill. I try it. Well, okay, we really got to find this out. So, Lothar of the Hill People will roll clack. I got a natural 20. I know I have a -2 on Arcana checks because I'm a barbarian, but I got a natural 20, just so you know. Oh, so yeah, I know that. But the fucking wizard who studies Arcana his whole life, yeah, he didn't get shit. So, I think skill dogpiling, if you don't deal with it in one way, shape, or form, can be destructive in a game. And from my perspective, the challenges or the problems that it causes is niche protection can go out the window. Some people don't give a fuck about niche protection. Okay, fine, I dig that. But how about spotlight hogging, player having no... If my dice are hot and Sean's dice are cold, why even let Sean roll? I'll just roll all your dice for you, right? You're the wizard. How about... But, I don't need you because everyone else can check for Arcana too. I don't need you because everyone can search for secret doors. That special ability that you took that you thought was really cool, your elf being able to find secret doors, 3 out of 6. Who fucking cares? Everybody can find secret doors. Just keep rolling enough 6-sided dice until you find it. And which is the other one, right? I tried to pick the lock. You failed. Well, I'll just keep trying. Why did you make them roll? Why are we doing this? So,
yeah, this one's gonna stir some emotions.
Yeah, and I think for me, the examples, I tend to go to D&D for my examples, but I can tell you, man, even in a modern game, in a Cthulhu game, any type of game where there's investigation, people think that, information is on the line.
Yes.
Not just progress. They're like, I gotta find this out.
Right.
And nobody wants to fucking fail. And I get it, because if you don't, and if the game master has set the stakes right and she's got you wound up and you're like, man, if we can't figure this out, her plot's going to eat us alive. We got to sort this. I don't want to miss it, right? Or I have to steel myself for the fact that, fuck, we missed it. She got us good that time. Damn, man, we had it. But she kicked our ass. Or whatever. It can be tough. And, picking locks, hearing noise, searching for secret doors, searching for anything. Searching for could be synonymous with... talking to, schmoozing, anything, quite frankly, that's not combat related. And I almost wonder some days if it almost stems from the weird combat thing. I attack the goblin. I miss. Well, I'll attack the goblin too. I hit him. If it's this weird holdover in our heads, like we can all try the thing, right? But we got to separate that. And I think those are some examples I've got. Sean, do you have anything in a recent game or anything that's come up to you that's hit you?
Other than D&D 5e, running Tomb of Annihilation, no, not really. Mothership, it hasn't really come up because in that game, yes, it's kind of OSR-ish, but you still have a little bit of skills. And, a Marine, I think the group that I'm playing with, I think kind of get it, right? The Marine and the scientist are two different types of people. And while the Marine might be able to be like, oh man, that cut's got to hurt, I'll just put my hand on it, where the scientist might have some medical background and be able to address something more severe, great. But I think the players themselves realize, like, I'm not playing the scientist.
I should let the scientist do the sciencey stuff.
Bingo.
There is...
Hey, props to my Mothership group.
Hey, amen, yeah. That's very cool.
Shout out, boys!
I don't know if it's, like I said, it's almost a player thing versus a game thing. And sometimes it becomes, some players have it in their, they honestly are not trying to spotlight GOG. They're not trying to be assholes. I have had players like, well, I try to. Well, I'll do that. Yeah, I do that too.
I get a lot of can I? I do get a lot of can I try?
I've heard a lot of I do this.
Sure.
So which gets Brett cranky because don't tell me what to do. So so and so's trying to pick the lock. Well, I do it too. You can't both pick the lock. Well, if he fails, I'll just do it. No, you're not. Type of thing. Question. Would you much rather have them assist? Like, hey, I try to hold the flashlight. This is what I want to get to here. So I think the challenge here is because let's take the asshole out of the mix, because the asshole's a different problem. The person who's injecting themselves and fucking with it and always trying to never lose, always trying to spotlight hog. Oh, seems like there's a lot of Arcana checks. I'm going to check Arcana too because, yeah, I rolled a 5. I rolled a 10. I got double zeros. Or you're like, I didn't even ask you. What are you fucking rolling for? Then they get indignant that you don't authorize the roll that they made without your request. Blah, blah, blah. Can be weird. Let's throw that asshole out. In my opinion, a lot of times players, they're actually just trying to help. They want to keep the plot moving, right? They're like, oh my God, we're going to get eaten by the monster outside the mothership if we don't fucking figure this out. I want to help. And because we want to help, we jump in like, oh, how about we try? Oh, I'll try this too. I'll try to hold the door. I'll do blah, blah, blah. One of the things I've started doing to fix this is looking at all the teamwork, all the chip-in mechanics for the game. If you do teamwork, do you get advantage? If you do teamwork, do you get a +5? So then I'm like, okay, I get it. Y'all trying to hold the door open so that the scientists can sneak through before the Xeno eats them. Got it. Which one of you is taking the lead? What do you mean? That's the one who's rolling the dice. Okay, I'm the strongest. I'll roll the dice. Okay, who's aiding? All right, Becky's aiding. Good. You get to add +X to this die roll. Okay,
but how?
Jesus.
How?
Hope this is good.
I know, but
does the game have mechanics for it? Use them.
I know, but I'm saying how are they aiding, right? Like,
yeah. So, describe it. What are you doing? I grab the other side of the door and heave on a little bit, or I tie a rope, or give me a descriptor, man. Tell me what it is you're doing.
Something other than I help. I assist. I'm assisting. I assist.
Yeah, I remember helping my dad change brakes on a car when I was a kid. I did that because I was less than helpful, let me tell you. Yeah.
Oh, that's another way to play it, right?
Yeah, you could be the nosy little kid who drops the lug nuts and you can't find them. Yeah, it could be that kid.
Right.
Yeah, but that'd be fun. That could be kind of fun. I want to help too. Get the fuck out of here, Junior.
Because back in 3.0, right, they had to roll. They had to roll above a 10 to see if they could assist, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think anybody, they don't assist, they don't help. They don't get a +2, versus, you don't assist and you actually freaking hinder the whole thing. Like, you're changing the tire on the car. You can't find the lug nuts. Ha! Yay!
Why? Because Junior dropped him in the snow. Because he's an idiot. Stupid kid. Can't yell at him. My wife will kill me. Anyway, I think having the teamwork mechanic, if you say, I don't know if my game has one, I bet you have the same problem Brett did, was like, I need to fucking look it up. I bet you it's there. And I skimmed over it when I read the goddamn rules, which I did. Or if you can't remember what the exact one is, fall back to your core mechanic and say, how do you normally give a bonus to something? What is the most common way to get a bonus? Is it advantage? Is it a plus? Is it lowering the difficulty? What do you normally get? You can even look directly to your combat for a way to figure out how to use the core mechanic to give aid in one way or another. The key is that you don't want to have, or you could do something like, look, you both have to roll whatever strength check to hold the door open. And if one of you fails, it closes. You both have to do it. One of you can't just do it. Well, what if he doesn't help? And then I just try and I roll really well. Okay, well, then that kind of, you can get in these weird if then, yeah, but type of things. So the other thing I've done in the past, I want to drag this back out next time I run this type of encounter, is when it happens, is say, look, you can do this. If you fail, and then, or I shouldn't say if, then let it happen. If they succeed, great, perfect, awesome, you guys got it, great, you held the door, the scientist is through, the slams in the Xeno's face. Let's say you failed, you fucked up. Well, there's a couple things that can happen here, folks. Scientist gets killed. You shut the door in his face. It slams shut out of your slippery fingers. Boom, done. Or you, big bulky guy, you're going to pull your right shoulder out. You're going to take 5 points of damage. You're going to strain your back. You're going to half your movement. You give them, this is kind of an homage, if you will, and I know Apocalypse World does this in places and other game systems do it too, but it's the penalty. And I think it would almost be like if you were Savage Worlds, it'd be like, you failed? Give me a penny. Aw. Light side, dark side? Give me one of those. Give me a light side point, right? If this was a cipher system, I'll let you have that if I get a GM intrusion. You have these mechanics, and this is a great time to ratchet up that tension, because if you're at a point where we're helping each other, it should be tension-based, at least in that type of example. Hold the door, blah, blah, blah. Now, those times, in my experience anyway, I find that actually goes pretty well. It's tense. Oh my God, we're trying to hold the door. Stop the Xenos. Oh my God. Everybody's kind of ready to go. But Sean, how about those times when there's really nothing at stake? Right? I need the door's locked. You know there's nothing on the other side. The door's just locked.
Right. I got to pick the lock.
Yeah.
I picked the lock.
Which is one of the reasons I loved back in the 3035, you could take 20. Can I take 20 on this?
Take 10.
Take 10.
Take 20.
Which basically meant I'm going to do it. Right?
Well, you will succeed on a 20.
I'm just saying the idea behind it was that you have time. And we've chatted about this a little bit before, where if you have time, anybody can climb a cyclone fence within reason.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing with taking 20 is you had to have time. If you didn't have time, you couldn't take 20.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you have a case where you've got a lock and you have essentially all the time in the world to figure out how to pick it and disarm the trap, it comes down to make your rolls, both of you, use your aid mechanic, whatever it is you do. The amount of success or failure equals the amount of time either saved or wasted by dicking around with a thing you couldn't sort out, or you sorted it out quickly. Another thing to do is like, look, the scientist needs to be the scientist, right? And the Marine needs to be the Marine in your mothership game. When the scientist walks up and does the scientist thing, and there's no pressure, give it to him. Oh yeah, you're the scientist. You're super skilled. No one's holding a gun to your head. The Xenos isn't trying to eat you right now. The ship isn't on fire. Yeah, you got it. You find out what the doctor who died in this room was working on. It's right there. It's in his notes, or whatever the case is. You don't have to have people rolling all the time to find stuff, especially if there's plenty of time to look. If you take a tip from our OSR discussions, you know, if you're searching a room for something, if you tell me where you're looking, you might find it. I don't always ask you to roll in an OSR game. Like, sometimes the mechanic for the room in a module might say a 1 in 6 chance of locating, or a 2 in 6 chance, or something along those lines. But otherwise, if it would often say, and we've done this before, where if you search under the bed, you'll find the key. You search through the bureau, you find the file folder, whatever the case is. So it's more of, you can invoke that kind of component, saying, what are you doing? How are you doing it? There's no pressure. Why do a roll? Does that make sense, Sean?
It does. And I will say that if I approach this in one of two ways, and I don't know if it's always the way I've done it, but I most recently have made a conscious effort where if they do something, and it's kind of a specialized guy, right? Scientist is going to do scientisty stuff, right? Jared's character is I think he's got a background, biology, chemistry, and whatever. And if it is something related to that, and it is not going to make a huge difference whether they pass or fail, they're just going to know.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, sometimes players ask questions or they want to know something has no relevance. Like, it doesn't matter if they know or don't. If they, they may think it does. And you give it to them and they're like, oh, okay, that must hold the key. And it's like, it really doesn't. But let them think that, right? Just, yep.
My buddy Zave is famous for that. I was doing I can't remember what the hell it was. It was my Bad Magic game. And I described something, and then later on, it was a liquid. We come back, and Zave goes, is this the same blue? I said, what? Is it the same color blue liquid as that other guy? No.
Oh.
Okay. He sat back, stroked his beard, and went, interesting.
Yeah.
And he thought he was onto something. Right. It fucking did nothing. I just happened to pick blue that time.
Yeah, could have been red or purple.
Red, purple, pink, indigo, don't care.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. But he's literally,
Yeah.
Interesting. He leaned back in his chair like, I got you, Brett. I'm like, all right, you think you got what you got there, big guy. That turned out to be irrelevant. And later on, he goes, damn, I thought I had it.
Right.
Which is fun.
Yeah. But
So
I either let them go ahead and do it. What's my other option? Shoot, I can't remember. I think I will give them the info without having let them roll. Like if it doesn't truly matter whether they succeed or fail, like, on this one ship, the crew that's gone on the Alexis, it says, hey, the bulkhead doors, right? That you got to open all of them. You have them roll the first few, or you have them roll when they're being chased. But eventually they're it's a strength check. I imagine there's 5 of them. Somebody's going to make a strength check to open a bulkhead door. Otherwise, if they can't open it, maybe they don't get in that room. Maybe, I don't know.
It's a matter of time. It's exhausting. Sometimes it's a strength. Give me 2 strength checks. Okay. All right. So you got the first 2. The third one was a bitch and a half. You just could not. You finally wedged it open. There's a crowbar holding that one. You can't get any further than that. The rest of them opened up just fine. Then you make a note. Second pod bay doors hold open with crowbar. They're fucked later. You can do that. And the reason you're doing that is because it makes it go faster, which is in my opinion can be very advantageous. And it stops skill dogpiling. It makes it important. You can say, I need four strength checks. I don't care which one of you does it. If you each want to try one, or one guy rolls it 4 times, but I need 4. No more than 4. Okay, cool. Clickety click, clickety click. This is what we got. Great. Like I said, all 4 are open. There's a crowbar in one. That's where you're at. Okay, cool. We've talked about this before, kind of alluding back to our GM rolling dice checks. Sometimes the other way to stop this type of skill dogpiling shenanigans is the Game Master rolls. Tim DeShane, as I pointed out before, did a wonderful job in our Astonishing Swordsman Sorcerer of Hyperborea game. If you have a game like that, you can do that. That works fine. And you can do it in a lot of games. Like, okay, I do this, good. And then even if somebody's like, well, I want to help. Sounds good. I can add a bonus. I can do whatever as I do behind the screen. Or however, I can check. The other piece that kind of goes in with the only if it matters perspective and helps with the dogpiling or the constant rolling of dice that make no sense is like, look, the group has told me that I'm sneaking down the dungeon in Undermountain. Okay, everyone's sneaking as best they can. I'm watching them on Roll20, in this case, where my buddy is. And you can see we all have dynamic lighting on, so you can see where we're going and how we're going there. And the rule is, I'm the scout, so as soon as I bump into something, Alpha goes, all right, give me your stealth and your hide checks. Okay, click. I roll a perception check to see what I see. I roll stealth to see if I'm hiding or whatever. In short, you're only rolling when it matters, even in such a case. I don't roll hide in shadows, move silently 15 times to go down a 30-foot hallway. I roll it at the end of it. Or just as I encounter something, because effectively I've snuck up on it, right? That's the idea. I've snuck up upon the goblin guards at the end, watching the chest in the 20 by 20 room. I sneak up on them. They shouldn't even know I'm there because I'm so damn stealthy. Make the roll. Depending how bad you fuck it up, they may have heard you 30 feet back when you started cussing at the dwarf because he's too loud. They may have heard you halfway. They may have heard you just as you walked in the door. That's a wonderful little narrative thing you can throw in there. But instead of the other thing so the reason I'm bringing this up is some people love rolling dice. And if this is not your bag, as Sean and I have always said, ignore our shit. That's totally fine. However, I have found that if I limit die rolling to important events, then I get less random die rolling. Yeah, oh, I try that too. Oh, yeah, I roll two. Got 15 people throwing dice. You know what I'm saying?
That could be tricky because then when you're asking for rolls, people are going to be like, oh, this is an important one.
It can be. Yes, it can
be
very tricky.
Because it could trigger that like, oh, there is something behind this wall.
Yeah, it can. But when I'm talking about like a stealth check, it seems to make sense to me because you would know if you were spotted. Perhaps. Again, is it right for every case? I don't necessarily know. But it's a thing I've done and I found works pretty well sometimes. Or instead of doing that, say, look, you've got a 30-foot hallway. Give me 2 rolls. That's all I need. Click, click. Good. Moving on.
See, on those sneak checks, I have them roll that stuff, even if it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, but I'm saying, you instead of saying if it does matter, then you say, abbreviate it instead of saying, give me a roll, you move 10 feet, roll again, move 10 feet, roll again, move 10 feet.
So this is the way I did it when I was growing up, because I played the consummate thief in AD&D. That was when I filled the party role, it was thief. That was me. And I think I played mostly a halfling thief. So I always had the jacked up, racial abilities and skills. So I specifically going through typically a dungeon, I would have the method down. So I would tell the dungeon master, so say there's a corridor and it's 60 feet long. I'd say, okay, I'm going to go up alone. You guys all stay here. And so the DM would be like, okay, you're going up alone? Yes. All right. What are you wearing? I'm wearing leather armor. I leave all my metal crap behind, whatever. So I would say, okay, from here to here, I roll silently, right? Is that all right? Because sometimes you're right. Dungeon Master will be like, well, I'll roll for the first 30, then the next 30. I would just say, from here to here, I'm going to move, and then I'm going to move silently. DM's like, okay, give me a roll, side roll. Then I would say I would hide in shadows. Okay, give me a roll, hide in shadows. Get to the corner. Okay, then I'd be at the corner. He'd say, all right, it takes a left, and then it goes down another 30 feet. And I go, okay, I hide in shadows, move silently. So I would do it for like segments of the dungeon.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, segments of the dungeon. Anytime like there was a corner and if I stopped.
What gave your character pause where you'd have to reset? Yeah.
Yes.
And the reason I'm bringing this up as a way is because when you talk about skill dogpiling or retrying, if you have a method and you're doing this thing, then the people that are following your rogue are keeping your thief is out front doing a scout piece. The rest of the people are behind, not to disturb or impact or infect the dice rolls, right? So they're letting people roll the dice that are really good at that. That's their thing. That's their shtick. They're the sneaky hidey person. I really think, if I go back to the hardcore kind of the try retry piece, the other thing that I think Alpha did a good job of, it started to creep in a little bit in our Undermountain game. And I asked Alpha, I said, hey, is this how you want us to do this? Because I'm like this, if I was Game Master, it just pissed me off. And Alpha's a pretty easygoing dude. He's like, you know what, Brett, I think you're right. Let's not do this. How about whoever's taking the point could get advantage if someone helps them. Okay. He's like, it's got to be somebody qualified. All right, cool. So Zave's character, who's Ranger, equally sneaky, really good perception. So if he and I are looking around and tearing through stuff, he's giving me advantage or I'm giving him advantage and so forth. If it's Arcana checks, it's usually me and Nick's character, Little Sorceress. So we're going back. If it's other stuff, it's Lenny and blah, 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 so on and so forth. And it works great. So instead of going down, I searched, I didn't find anything. Well, I searched too. No. Did you help him? No. And we talked about it a little bit, and Zave and I kind of went back and forth. And I said, man, I think it kind of comes down to this, do you not trust me? He goes, no, that's not it. I just don't want to miss it. I said, well, look at it this way. If you walk down here and I said, hey, man, is there any salt in the kitchen? You said, now we're out. I believe you. I'm not going to go search around to see if there's actually any salt in the kitchen. He goes, yeah, that's a good point. So there was a time when I got out a little bit farther than I should have. I came back. I said, did you find anything? He said, nah. And I'm pretty sure we missed a secret door somewhere under a mountain. But everyone went, you know what? We trust the scout. He hasn't let us down. We're 6th level now. He has not let us down. Let's just go.
He's the resident expert.
So the whole group is doing what your mothership group is doing. And it's not like my crew is like, we have to be reminded constantly. But sometimes it's good to have this discussion up front when it happens. When you start to see the skill dogpiling come in as game master or as player, just so, okay, time out. Does everybody get to try to open every door? Or are we using the teamwork mechanic? And believe you me, there's a lot of times when everyone goes, oh yeah, there's a teamwork mechanic. At least that's what I've experienced in multiple game groups with lots of different players. For whatever reason, the teamwork mechanic is very rarely top of mind. If you've got it, bring it up. If there isn't one or no one can figure it out, say, well, can I get like a +3? If it's a strength check, can I get Ragnar the Strong's +4 strength bonus to this? Or should he roll it and I give him my +2 strength? Yeah, let's do that. You can house rule this shit. It's not a problem. If you can't find the damn teamwork rule today, look at it for next time. Or if you're like, you know what, we like what we've done, go with that. But I think it lets the star be the star of the right moment. And even if, well, anybody can hold open the door. True. However, the character who's the super strongest, Eileen's super badass character, who's the baddest fucking space marine the space has ever fucking seen, she grabs that door. She's taking lead. I might be helping, but she's in lead. She's doing the work. I'm just giving her a boost because she's badass and I'm not in this regard. So there you go. And I think it's another way to say, look, who's got lead? Sometimes is a comment you can make. Who's leading the examination? Who's rolling the die on this one? Instead of not how many of you are rolling, it's which one of you is rolling. Which can be fun because sometimes you get the characters with, well, we're both equally wussy. Our rogues are pathetically weak. But we got to try to do this. Shawnee, your dice hotter than mine. Well, I think I'm due. All right, dude, you must be due. Fuck you, man. You still can't roll for shit. That type of that fun, at least this fun for me at the table can happen. But so does that make sense to you, Sean? I don't want to keep belaboring that piece, but
yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I think you gotta call it all up front though. But I get my group with Jeff, I think, still skill pile a little bit, but I kind of let it roll off the back a little bit. I mean, it's not too terribly bad to the point where I'm just like.
Do you do the really old school way of you just ignore the people whose dice you don't care about in the check? Because that's a method. I won't tell Jeff if you do that. I promise. But that's a thing too. You can do it. And I have done it, and I know other people who have done it too. When you have that person who's always, I do that. Yeah, I try that too. Well, I do that too. I do that too. Yeah, you find nothing. Oh, wow, I just can't seem to find anything. Uh-huh, you're being a dick. That's it. That's kind of the passive-aggressive, like, you're being a dick answer, right? But I have seen that, and I will admit, I have indeed done that in the past with a player where I'm like, look, I don't want to have the fight. I don't want to have the fight right now that I know this is going to start into by saying that's not how this works. And this was a much less experienced Brett. And now I would say, hey, hang on. Let's use the teamwork rules. Let's just clear this up. We've got a method. We need to make this fair. Everyone be cool. Where younger Brett would have been like, oh, fuck that guy. If he thinks he's going to muscle in on this territory, that's just bullshit. I'm just not going to include his roles. Fuck, he won't even know. Went, wow. But I've done it. and I know other people still do it. And sometimes that's just the way your group is going to operate. That's just how you work. But it can be done. Do you ever do that, Sean? Have you done that? And they just keep digging around like there's. So my favorite things from Trail of Cthulhu actually has a little card you can probably that says scene. And when they're done, instead of letting people just dick around, you can hold it up. This is scene, move on, people. I think skill dogpiling can be destructive, though. And the reason I say that is that all the things we just talked about, the specialist can't be the specialist. The person who's really good at something doesn't get to at least take the lead. If the scientist is really good trying to do her science thing, and your Marine comes up and just rolls medicine, happens to roll a little bit better, why not just give the Marine then to say, hey, I found this. Is this any good? You go, oh my God. And the science character gets to look over and see the Marine holding the bottle that says, this is the answer, right? Oh, well, fuck yeah, that works. Glug, glug, glug. It mixes stuff together. So you can narrate your way through this stuff by, if everybody chooses to roll in, they don't get to do the final cool thing, perhaps, right? Where the Marine finds the bottle or the whatever in your mothership game, but they get to say, is this any good? I found this. This might be useful to you.
Well, that's like on last episode with Low Fantasy Gaming. Like the person that's got the, that's their shtick. They get to re-roll and spend the points. The other person who doesn't get to do it. They still get to make the check.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't get to do it again. And so that's I think that's still kind of a nice balance. Like, all right, fine, whatever. Because it's in the rules. So it's not like this, I get to try as many times as I want, even though, let's just face it, we as game masters can say, no, it's not going to work that way. I'm putting the kibosh down, because the rule's 0 or whatever. Plus, going back to what you were saying, Brett, the problem is with, well, why can't the barbarian just do that? They can, and granted, they find it and they hold it up or whatever, or the Marine does. Mm-hmm. The other caveat is it's contrary to what about party balance? And Brett goes, well, I don't need fighter, magic user, thief, cleric in a party. Like, right? You would say that.
Yep, you
right?
can say that.
But at the same time, you would say, well, in order to be good at magic, you got to have somebody in the party that knows magic. Mm-hmm. And then when they're not there, nobody can make a skill check because, well, they don't know magic. So then you get into this pickle where it's like, well, so what used to be like, well, I don't want party balance to be an issue, and now it's like, well, it is now. Well, I thought it was okay, but now I'm making it a big deal. So there's also that side of the fence where you could really get into a pain in the ass.
Yeah, my thief, my arcane trickster, happens to have a really kick-ass arcana roll.
Sure.
As good, if not better, than the sorceress, just because I happen to have a better intelligence than she does, right? It's just the way I roll, just the way I put my stats. So, yeah, you're right. In a game where you don't have all the right niches filled, and then you need people to add in, or they're supplement niche roles or whatever the case is, I think that's a great opportunity to use those teamwork mechanics, or to tell people like, look, each get to roll. You need 4 successes to find all the answers. All 5 players roll, and they get 3. They've got 3 pieces of the puzzle. They're missing the 4th. It depends how bad they failed to get enough successes, right? Maybe they actually burnt one. Maybe they stepped on it. Maybe they flushed it down the toilet. Maybe they smoked it. Who fucking knows what they did? But it's gone. They don't have it anymore. They have, a piece of the history, an idea about what the antidote is, the name of the guy who made the antidote, but they don't know where the fuck his stuff is. Shit. We lost that. God damn it. We gotta search harder. Yes, it would be a lot easier if you had somebody who was a biochemist who could have just figured this out for you, but you don't have them with you, do you? So you got to piece it together. So instead of a dog piling out, like, do I succeed? Instead of breaking it down to a one roll decides, you can have a chain of rolls decide. In a case like that, give me 2 arcana checks. You're trying to fill a void that you don't have. Well, enough of us, we know a little bit about religion here. I've got a best religion check of 3. All right, between you and the Kenku Rogue, you guys put your heads together and you remember this much. Huh. Okay. It's not the answer. It's part of the answer, or a hint or a glimpse, which can be some fancy footwork for game masters sometimes, right?
I almost think that if you have somebody that is going to not, say, be the expert or have the specialization and they make a skill check, if they fail, the consequences are worse than the person that specializes in it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you take what you just said, I like that idea, because if you take what we just said about, or I should say you just said about low fantasy, right?
Yeah.
If you don't get a reroll and you fail, you fucked it up.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're not the master arcanist, if you're not the biochemist, if you're not the king priest of the Church of Poseidon, guess what? You burned it. You lost it. You garbled the data. You're like, oh, it's clearly east. And it's not. You had the map upside down because you're a moron. You forgot that the dwarves always put west at the top and not the other way or whatever. That was actually a thing. Oddly enough, bit of weird trivia, but in The Hobbit, Thorin's map, I think, had west at the top because that's how they always did. They always had the map was kiltered differently. North was not top of map. It was off. So anyway, point being is that if you didn't realize that, you look at it like, oh, this is obviously north of here. Travel. Motherfucker. If anybody would have had the Dwarven lore guy, the historian, the bard, or the ranger, you would have said, Dwarven map. That's on the map. To your right is north. Turn the map sideways. Oh, I get it now. But no one was there to figure that out for you. So you fucked up. You spent a week burning rations out in the wilderness. No, I get that. I like that idea. Because that's a consequence then that you don't have the thing. It's a risk to not have that expertise with you. I like that idea.
Yeah, man. Use that. Run with it, people.
Yeah, I think these ideas and this type of thing, if nothing else, how you want to deal with skill dogpiling, skill checks, you rely solely on the mechanics, do you have house rules, whatever. Tell us about it and how you're doing it, because I think any and all these ideas can be really good, and it all depends, as Sean would say, on your game group. What they like, what you like as a game master, and what flows. And sometimes it depends on the game system. Some game systems may have beautiful teamwork mechanics that just sing for you and do everything you want to do in the types of stories you're telling. Other times, you might have to wing it a little bit. So, anyway, I think what we had is some good rules, a thumb to try to apply. So, shall we, sir?
Yeah, we shall. Let's get into die roll. Die roll. 2 to 4 miscellaneous points, gaming and geekery we want to share with you. Yeah, baby.
I threw the first one out there. It's the skill dogpiling video by Matt Colville. So that's out there. Go over there, watch him on the YouTubes. You can see some stuff. What do you got, Sean?
The Warden, Todd, Broken Ruler Games, Crapper, mentions Jacob Woods' site, Accessible Games.
Oh, does that go to our comment from before?
It does go to the comment from before in Random Encounter, where he, in the forum, said, hey, this guy's doing accessible games. And I just noticed on his blog he was doing something for the PIP system.
Yes.
So
very cool.
Yeah. So check that out. Number 2, D&D movie adds Marvel producer to the project. Source at Gamer Rant. So, well, we'll see.
Let's see how bad that sucks.
The comment that was a little scary for me was like, it's a light adventure story or a light adventure.
Lighthearted?
Something like that. Like the verbiage in the article quoted by like the producer, the director. I'm like, oh.
Garbage.
Oh my God.
You and I have talked about this before, and I still hold to this. That if you want a D&D movie, it needs to be a Forgotten Realms, Greyhawk, Dragonlance. It needs to be a movie in this setting with D&D stuff-ish happening, if that. Or don't do any of that. I don't know. Just go watch Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones or some whatever is your fancy. Watch one of those.
Last one. Get a chance to play D&D with Joe Manganiello. It's for charity, people. It's for the Make-A-Wish. Head to Omaze. And then if you haven't looked at the video that Joe puts on, it's pretty amusing. So it's like $20 and $25 and you get like 250 entries into the drawing.
I met Joe at GaryCon the second year he was there selling t-shirts and stuff. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go meet this guy. I got to get my picture with him. My wife thinks he's super cool, so I'm going to do this thing. He was one of the most approachable people. It was like, hey, man, how you doing? Oh, good. It was just like, if he didn't have like stuff to do with a line of people behind me, I felt like I could have just, hey, you want to get a beer? I was like, he had that total approach. So he was a pretty cool dude to talk to. It was nice.
Variety they did a video on YouTube, and then also Variety did an expose on Joe's gaming group, which included like Tom Morello,
The Big Show.
Yeah, Rage Against the Machine, The Big Show, and Vince Vaughn was another guy.
I'm going to say this now. I've already seen it in little pieces and parts on the Twitterverse. The celebrities are ruining our hobby.
Oh, have you seen that already?
Yeah, I've seen that places. It's that like, well, everyone wants it to be Matt Mercer's game. It's just not Critical Role. He's wrecked every game, blah, blah, blah. Okay, if that is your approach, go fuck yourself. That's kind of my general approach to that. Like, really? That's what's ruining your game. Is that really? That's what's ruining the fun you're having. They played
before they were celebrities.
Yeah, I know. It's just hilarious to me when people will say this thing has wrecked my hobby. Do you mean the hobby that you've been playing with the same 5 people for the last 30 years
Yeah.
and you are still playing second edition. What fucking got wrecked?
Right.
Nothing got wrecked. Nothing is wrecked. It's fine. Stop it. Fuck off. Anyway.
Yeah. So weird. It's so weird. Anyways, what do we got planned for next week, Brett?
I'm not sure, man. I got a couple different ideas, and we'll figure something out. I'll hit you up with them outside of here. I'm not sure yet. I got 2 ideas, but I don't want to talk about them now. I want to throw them at you.
Suspense is killing me.
I know it's important to keep you in suspense, because then when you show up, you're like, I don't even know what to say.
Fair.
I know it helps me kind of own the show more this way. If we
Wow.
keep it in the dark.
Wow.
Shit! Did I say that out loud? I said that out loud, motherfucker. Should have said that.
Everybody
No,
knows Brett's tactics now. Oh. All right. Well, for everybody that showed up to watch us live, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Check us out. We're recording these things on video Tuesday night or Monday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time, U.S. Here on Twitch, streaming to Discord. And otherwise, this is going to be coming out within the week to audio to everywhere, to the masses.
Sweet.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. I'm Sean.
And I'm Brett. Good night and good game and all.
This episode of Gaming and BS brought to you with the help from the following BSers: Graham Miner, Corey Wynn, Brian Kurtz, Ray Otis, Larry Hout, Mark Tasaka, Pure Mongrel, Chris Steele, Ron Bishop, Thomas Hook, Wayne Humfleet, Craig, Brandon Barnes, Laramie Wall, Dan LaValle, Jason Hobbs, Sky, Old School DM, Perry Besor, Jim Fitzpatrick, John Kayward, Corey Gonzalez, Eileen Barnes, Robert Nemeth, Anil Diamond, Howard Bishop, Eric Salzwedel, Closet Gamer, Jeff Goad, Aaron Coleman, CW Mellencamp, Craig Huber, Old Scouser Roleplaying, Andy Hall, David F. Playlog, Harrigan, Melissa Bashinsky, Brian Rumble, Henry Newcomb, Eric Tavola, Roger Braslett, Mark Sohm, Andy Olson, Eric Avia, Ron Blessing, Jeff Seifert, Mike Hess, Angus, Tony Sugarloaf Baker, Rory Weston, Curtis Hinson, Jim Ingram, Daniel Garrett, Eric Frankhouse Presents, Huss Carl, Jason Weeb, Dollar Adventure Frameworks, a.k.a. Steve, Jared Rasher, Michael Dinos, Matt Cyberlick, Chad Glayman, Finn Ulf, Josh Wallace, Corey Welsh, Mirko Froelich, Rich Wishan, Joe Swick, Curtis Takahashi, and Aaron Railia. Hey, if you've liked what you've heard in this show, tell one of your players. Have them go to gamingandbs.com/subscribe. We would really appreciate it. Thanks, BSers!
This has been a Litterbox Studio production.